Hello, dear listeners. Today's topic is what psychological issues do overseas Pakistanis face when they come to Pakistan. We have a guest speaker today, and his name is Umar. And I would like to know how he experienced the transition. So, Umar, please tell us about your experience and what would you like to share with the listeners?
Well, first, thank you for having me here.
You're most welcome.
And I would start by saying that when I moved to Pakistan in 2005, it was very difficult for us. Especially, I used to live here alone with my mother and brother, and we
Mm-hmm.
were kind of getting used to how to live here. And
Okay.
in Kuwait, things were very different. Like everything was available readily. There were people were honest over there, and in Pakistan, like people had ulterior motives, and you never know. Like
Yeah.
I had a friend, and
Mm-hmm.
he was a friend with me for like the past 20 years. But then later I found out he had some very deep concerns regarding me and my family's
Mm.
wealth, and myself, and he tried to break me psychologically, mentally, and even physically by saying such drastic words that were like very harmful.
Yeah, it must
So
have been a traumatizing experience for you. When did it start? Tell us more about it.
it started like in 4 years back when I was getting engaged.
Mm-hmm.
So that guy had very different like approach towards me. Like when I was getting married, so he was shocked that a guy like me is getting married because he always used to demean me, degrade me. But at that time I was suffering from anxiety and many other things that
Mm.
I did not know that who was my friend and who was not, and I was
Uh,
very lost,
okay,
and
so
I was
just a minute. You were having anxiety because of the move. Was it because of the transition?
it was because of the transition as well. But I when I start to think about it, I had
Mm-hmm.
this anxiety when I was in Kuwait as well because I did not used to socialize at all, and my only routine was getting home, and that's it. I didn't go out with friends. I didn't had any friends, and I only used to study that much. I was good in studies, that's all, but I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't good in those skills that are required to be of a human nature and that are required for a competitive world. Like it could be any job perspective or any work related or anything that you do that would make a sensible decision. So these things were coping up, and then there was my family. Some of things were adopted from my family, some negative beliefs were adopted from my family, and
Okay.
some irregular psychological distortions were adopted from my family. So it is very hard to live in such circumstances because I haven't moved forward for a very long time because of uh, how my grooming is, and how that person also came in my life, and then it was my family. Then I wasn't adjusting to school. I had chosen bad friends, and
Oh.
because I did not know how to choose things, I was always in an anxiety mood. I was always hypersensitive. So I was always like confused about who am I, which career I should choose, and
Mm-hmm.
what should I do? Like how do I know myself? How do I have my own values? So it is very challenging for me.
Yes, I can actually reason with that. I agree. I was also abroad, and moving to Pakistan meant a transition in different ways. There were a lot of things that needed changing, lifestyle change, mindset change. And I also felt the same challenges trying to understand our Pakistani
Hmm.
youngsters, our people, like, making friends. It wasn't easy, and yes, I also felt like, people are not exactly what they show us to be on top. They may have ulterior motives. I can understand, I can feel how you felt about it, and it is a very sad situation. But I think in your case, it went a bit extreme because it led to a lot of anxiety for you. But tell us, how are you struggling with anxiety, and what do you think it has impacted you in your life in what ways?
Anxiety has affected me in social situations. Like I cannot. Uh, I always feel struggling when talking to someone or making a connection with anyone. It is very hard to even make a connection with a with a person, with a male himself, like a boy. So
Mm.
it is double hard for me to make a connection with a lady because
Oh,
I start feeling these things. I reject myself in my own mind. My brain plays a lot of games, like you're not worthy, you will be rejected, and they will make fun of you. You are and many things like that, like all these thoughts. So
that's
so these things kind of like were happening since I came to Pakistan. And in Pakistan, I tried to fit in, but then there was a family pressure that you should not do this, you should not do that. And
uh,
then I did not know how to find good friends. I have a few good friends who are from my school life and my university. There are few, but however, I still haven't learned a lot of things that I should have learned in the past 15 years, and now I am struggling from very basics. So,
okay. That's understandable. That's very understandable. And how about your experience at workplaces? Like, have you adjusted now? Do you find it easy to achieve your goals and things like that?
nope, the problem is still there, and I cannot connect with anything. It's very hard for me to actually. It's very hard for me to like think about my work. Like whenever a boss tells me something, I keep forgetting it. I cannot find. I cannot like
Focus
process
on the.
it process it in my thought process. Okay,
Hmm.
like I don't know if someone is instructing me, so I become confused, my focus goes different, and then already these thoughts come in that you will be a failure, you will do this, you will do that, you're not
Hmm.
meant to do this. And if any boss gives a feedback like you need to learn some skills or you need to have a good thought process, because one of my boss did suggested that to me. So ever since
Oh.
that made me very confused, and it made me more worried about myself that there is something wrong with me, and that's why I haven't been able to do any jobs. I haven't been able to find my passion. Whatever I try to do, I have I get scared. I get scared. And one more thing I would like to share is the anxiety and the panic attack and the depression. It hit me when I was doing digital marketing. So I have developed fear of digital marketing and these technology things. However, I was very much interested and very much keen in it. And
Hmm.
these terms like leads and sales, it started scaring me off because at this time I suffered this panic attack and
Okay,
this
you are
anxiety.
a digital marketer by profession, are you?
Yes,
Okay, because you mentioned leads and generating sales, so I perceive that you are a digital marketer probably. It is a difficult
yes.
situation. Okay, I can understand how challenging your job must be. But do you think maybe you are giving too much importance to the negativity around you, maybe the people around you, you're letting their opinion affect you a lot? Have you tried to?
Maybe because one thing when I was having a counseling session, the doctor did mention that I over obsess over things, I overthink, and
Mhm.
and whenever these thoughts come, you should actually uh, just try to distract yourself, but it's very hard at that time to distract myself. And at that time the destructive thoughts come in my mind that, I cannot do this. I was not made for this. I need to do something else. Maybe that person was right. I'm not supposed to be a digital marketer. I'm not supposed to be in this artificial intelligence thing, or I'm not supposed to be a data scientist. I am not supposed to be a programmer. But deep down inside, sometimes I feel I want to do these things. Sometimes I feel like I want to do human resource. Sometimes I want to be a trainer. But whenever it comes to the practical steps, I do not have the necessary skills to achieve. But it's all in my head that I can do it. But when I try to do it, like for a trainer, you have to be a good communicator. And when I'm
Mm-hmm.
trying to communicate with someone, I zone out a lot of time, and
Oh,
then I cannot think about anything else.
that's very sad. So, would you say that all these are stemming from the fact that you relocated to Pakistan and having spent a lot of time abroad, you haven't been able to adjust to the Pakistani environment? Or what do you feel about it? Why do you think you have these challenges?
I I think it was mainly the grooming factor, that how our parents brought us up,
Mm-hmm.
and also the relocating factor as well. And then we did not have any experience. We have very rigid beliefs about things. That's what made us not to grow. And and I think that's what I am suffering the consequences of. Although now I have tried to communicate with my family, and things have got a lot better. They have
That's what.
understood that I have anxiety, and I do fear that. My dad has taken this responsibility that he will give me tasks every day so that I
Mhm.
would be focused. And he also suggested that I should not do a job at the moment, but start working in somewhere where there is less pressure, and I cannot deal with pressure. I don't know how, like if there is any pressure in the job, I start feeling anxiety. I start quitting. I used to quit the job. So
Okay.
it's because I did not had any coping skills. I used to
Okay.
fear that job, and I started fearing that thing,
Hmm.
and then it all begins.
Okay. I would like to say that, mashallah, you have a very supportive family. It's very good to know that they're helping you get over this problem in every way possible. That's very
Yes.
good. Something. Would you like to say anything to our listeners? There will be numerous people like us, I'm sure, who have relocated to Pakistan after spending a lot of time overseas. What would you like to say to such listeners if they are having similar challenges like you do?
Well, I would say first of all, get connected with yourself first, and try to observe every little thing in Pakistan. And one thing that really helped me was journaling, and write every single detail about what happened in your single day. And do try to make friends, but don't be so open with them, especially in university when you are in bachelorette. Try to do things yourself. Try,
Mm.
and in Pakistan, try to find things yourself, because when you rely on others, they sometimes call you out, they sometimes don't pick the phone, and they have a lot of like thousands of things going on. So it's better
Actually,
you.
yeah, I agree with you. We can't trust our friends once we come here because I think maybe it's just being naughty or whatever, but sometimes people are not very honest in helping people like us that need a transition and some support.
Yes,
Yes,
definitely.
it's sad, really. It's really sad.
So
But
whenever you are in, if you come in university, do everything yourself. Participate in different activities, because I did not participate in activities because of the social anxiety and all, and that now I know it was all in my head. And even though I am struggling right now, I really wish that I could be a part of youth clubs. I would have learned a lot. And now I don't have much of social experience, so it feels very awkward for me. And I would really love any suggestions if people would give me that. How do I build my social? How do I become a socially fit person or fit in the society?
Okay, okay, that's very good. I think what I will do, Omar, is I'll also try to get someone to speak to us about this. Maybe I will invite you on another show so that we can try to help you, deal with the situation. Would you
Sure.
like that? Okay,
Yes,
that would
I
be
would
very,
like that. I would love that.
okay, that would be very good. So, Omar, our podcast is coming to an end for today.
Sure.
And I would like to say thank you so much for your time. It was wonderful having you on the show, and we will have you again very soon with someone else who can give you some kind of guidance, inshallah.
Sure. Sure. Inshallah.
Have a nice time. Thank you so much.
Sure. Sure. Thank you. Thank you for having.
Bye.